Being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease is the beginning of a long and increasingly difficult road. In this short video, we will reveal what is now believed to be the two main root causes of Parkinson's disease. Then, we will show the latest academic research on several key nutritional supplements that may address these two root causes. Parkinson's disease may include, but is not limited to, the following symptoms: anxiety, apathy, clumsiness, cognitive decline, depression, difficulty sleeping, difficulty swallowing, digestive issues, diminished libido, exhaustion, impaired posture and balance, loss of automatic movements, rigid muscles, sexual dysfunction, slowed movement, speech changes, tremors, and writing changes. What is the problem? A neurotransmitter is a chemical means for brain cells to communicate information to other brain cells. These treatments work to some degree for some people, until the disease progresses to a point that these treatments are ineffective. The long-standing gold standard to treat Parkinson's disease is through L-dopa, which serves to artificially replace the missing dopamine, but it does not address the root cause. This means that L-dopa does nothing to slow Parkinson's disease advancement. In fact, some studies suggest that the metabolizing of L-dopa causes further oxidation, which then accelerates the progression of the disease even more. In an attempt to compensate for the ongoing progression of Parkinson's disease, the administration of L-dopa dosage and frequency is increased periodically. Eventually, the symptoms caused by L-dopa become another contending problem. This problem is called dyskinesia. Dyskinesia is a problem in which muscle movement becomes uncontrolled. Eventually, Parkinson's disease becomes an uncomfortable and frustrating battle between symptoms of the L-dopa treatment itself or the disease. At some point, some consider a surgical procedure called deep brain stimulation, or DBS for short, out of desperation for some limited short-term relief. Deep brain stimulation is an invasive neurosurgical procedure involving the implantation of a medical device called a brain pacemaker, which sends electrical impulses through implanted electrodes to specific parts of the brain to reduce tremor symptoms. If you have noticed, the primary treatments serve to artificially replace dopamine. There are no proven treatments to slow or stop Parkinson's progression. Are you ready for something interesting? Academic research has made significant advancements in the field of Parkinson's disease in the last few years. Contrary to popular thinking, Parkinson's disease is not a dopamine problem. Insufficient dopamine is an effect, not a cause. The real cause of Parkinson's disease is related to a cellular mitochondria problem. It is now known that on a cellular level, the mitochondria of the cells in the substantia nigra region of the brain are dysfunctional. The mitochondria retain the responsibility of allowing critical nutrients into a cell and providing adequate energy to all cellular functions. If a cell does not have adequate energy to support its intended function, what do you suppose occurs to a neuron in the substantia nigra that is intended to produce dopamine? The answer to that question is obvious. The energy-starved cell no longer produces dopamine, which of course means the brain has less dopamine and the path leading to Parkinson's symptoms begins. These dormant cells are eventually labeled as useless by their own dysfunctional mitochondria and are then programmed for self-destruction in order to save resources for surrounding cells that are still functioning correctly. So, in short, dopamine-producing brain cells begin to starve to death. They stop producing dopamine, causing a dopamine deficiency. Eventually, these cells die, thus causing a permanent dopamine deficiency. Unless the mitochondria can be repaired, brain cells continue to go dormant and die, and Parkinson's symptoms progress to the same degree. This is not the only problem related to the mitochondria. They also now know that there is a problem in the overproduction of a particular protein called A-synuclein. This protein clumps together and is determined to be toxic by the brain's dedicated immune system. This causes neural inflammation and severe oxidation in the substantia nigra, thus further stressing the already energy-deprived neurons by placing them in a highly toxic environment. Understandably, this also accelerates cellular death and quickens the progression of Parkinson's disease. These are the two main causal problems of Parkinson's disease. 1. A lack of cellular energy causing cell death. 2. toxic A-synuclein clumping, also causing cell death. So what now? Ideally, a person with Parkinson's disease would want to restore and support their mitochondrial function in the substantia nigra. In other words, the first step to delay Parkinson's progression would be to stop the brain cells from starving to death. If Parkinson's disease is caused by the death of brain cells, the obvious solution is to slow or stop brain cell death. If brain cell death is caused by an energy crisis and protein clumping, then any solution must include restoring energy production and stopping and removing the protein clumping. Brain cell death is a process. It does not happen overnight. This is why Parkinson's disease is a progressive disease. There are some cells that have not yet died, but are simply dormant. If there was adequate cellular energy, these dormant cells could then be reactivated to continue to produce dopamine if energy production was restored by the mitochondria. If that could be accomplished, there would still be several remaining problems. There is a need to inhibit the A-synuclein protein from forming insoluble fibrils. It is necessary for the existing clumping to become water-soluble so that the brain is then equipped to remove the toxic aggregates from the substantia nigra. Lastly, there needs to be a means to neutralize the oxidation and neural swelling that stresses the surrounding dopamine-producing cells. So again, there are two main problems that cause Parkinson's disease. The mitochondria struggle to produce cellular energy. The brain cells lose their dopamine-producing function and eventually proceed to cellular death. A particular protein, A-synuclein, clumps together and encourages a toxic environment caused by the brain's dedicated immune system. This causes problematic oxidation and inflammation. In the last few years, significant research has been published that may assist in addressing these main root causes of Parkinson's disease. What we will show you now is research surrounding 7 key supplements that we have also intentionally chosen to be a part of our increasingly popular supplement formula called Restore Gold. Step 1. Restoring mitochondrial function. In 2014, the academic journal Brain, along with Science Daily, published some groundbreaking research originating from the Sheffield Institute in the United Kingdom. The title of the article in Brain is Uroscolanic Acid Rescues Mitochondrial Function in Common Forms of Familial Parkinson's Disease. Impressively, they tested over 2,000 compounds to determine what compounds retained the potential of restoring mitochondria dysfunction in Parkinson's disease. Taking this a step further, the Journal of Molecular Neurobiology published this study in late December 2014. Ursodeoxycholic acid ameliorates apoptotic cascade in the rotenone model of Parkinson's disease, modulation of mitochondrial perturbations. In this particular study, they found that this compound prevented cellular death in a rat model of Parkinson's disease. It is understood that when ursodeoxycholic acid is metabolized by the liver, it is immediately combined with taurine to form tauroursodeoxycholic acid. This may be why other studies using tauroursodeoxycholic acid, such as this Parkinson's disease mouse model, showed similar positive results. These bile acids have been used by the Chinese for over 3,000 years to treat conditions that are also caused by unwanted cellular death, such as liver disease and eye problems. Similarly, these studies suggest that tauroursodeoxycholic acid may slow or even stop brain cell death in the substantia nigra by reactivating the mitochondria, thereby restoring the necessary energy production and allowing the still existing dormant cells to once again produce dopamine. Equally important, it is known that these compounds cross the blood-brain barrier. In short, these studies suggest that it might be possible that tauroursodeoxycholic acid could not only slow or stop brain cell death, but possibly restore some of the dormant brain cells back into dopamine-producing brain cells. Step 2. Supporting the restored mitochondria and dopamine production. If mitochondrial function is restored, it would logically follow that supplying the mitochondria with the nutrition it needs to produce cellular energy might be of high value. L-tyrosine is a necessary ingredient in the formation of dopamine and may assist in increasing a natural production of dopamine and regulate the administration of L-dopa supplementation. Studies have shown that L-tyrosine may increase the levels of naturally produced dopamine. Step 3. Alpha-synuclein aggregate inhibition. Inhibiting alpha-synuclein aggregation simply means slowing down or stopping this troublesome protein from clumping together and forming toxic fibrils. Green tea extract, or EGCG, has been shown to inhibit alpha-synuclein aggregation in Parkinson's models and crosses the blood-brain barrier. Gallic acid, which is found in grapeseed extract, may not only inhibit alpha-synuclein aggregation, but also may break down the already existing fibrils into soluble form based on recently released research. Grapeseed extract may also offer neuroprotective qualities to those with Parkinson's disease. Step 4. Oxidation and neural swelling. Alpha-lipoic acid and acetyl L-carnitine both have demonstrated success in neutralizing neural swelling and oxidation. A recent study discovered that combining the two together works up to 1,000 times more efficiently than the sum of each in isolation. N-acetylcysteine is one of the most important ingredients in Restore Gold. It is known to be a glutathione precursor. Glutathione is often referred to as the master antioxidant in the human body. Antioxidants are used by the body to combat oxidation. Cysteine is the bottleneck ingredient that is often lacking in glutathione production. Recent studies have demonstrated success at boosting brain and blood glutathione with N-acetylcysteine in Parkinson's patients. Very recently, according to a controlled clinical trial published in June 2016, N-acetylcysteine alone increased a Parkinson's patient's UPDRS score by an astounding 13% after just 3 months. As you can see, Parkinson's disease is a complex disorder, but it is also evident that there may exist some hope in slowing or stopping Parkinson's disease progression. What happens when all of these supplements are combined into a synergistic nutritional protocol? We Have Parkinson's has been receiving feedback from those that tried Restore Gold. Let's watch some feedback from those who have experienced Restore Gold.
And when we went to the neurologist, happened to see a brochure in the office on Restore Gold, and we thought we'd give her a try. Had all the usual questions, of course, about how effective it was and data that showed its effectiveness. And everything I read about it indicated that Restore Gold would be a good thing to do. So we have been doing that for 4.5 years. The benefits, particularly for me, were related to an increase in my dexterity, my ability to grip things. And anything to do with small motor coordination would greatly improve with using Restore. And fortunately, that I've maintained that for the whole 4.5 years. So there's no progression of Parkinson's since that time. So overall, I would say that it has really served me well, continues to do so, and so I am still taking it after 4.5 years. I definitely recommend Restore Gold to others. Basically, it's met all my expectations after all the research I've read, and it's proven to be factually true in terms of its impact, and so I will continue to use it. Well, given that I've been able to have my grip restored, manual dexterity, balance, cognitive functioning, and so on, it obviously greatly affects the quality of my life today on a day-by-day basis. It's also given me much independence, so I don't have to rely on anyone else in terms of daily activities, buttoning my shirt, tying my shoes, taking a shower, and so on. So on a day-to-day basis, I'm independent, which is a great thing at this point in my life.
And I took it for 3 months, and I noticed it pretty much of a difference right then, and I said, look, I think this is really helping me. I said, can you get me some more? And so she ordered me another 6 months supply, and I took that, and after the 6 months, I was able to get rid of the cane, and that was really something that I hated to have to deal with. Anyway, to get in and out of cars and get around with it. But I got rid of it, and I got my voice back to where I could talk. I was just got it amazingly changed, and I would see people that was thought I died because they hadn't seen me in quite a while, and when they did see me, they knew that I was pretty bad shape, and they hated to say anything. And some people even see me now, and they look as they like looking at a ghost. They said, "I thought you were gone," and I said, "No, I found this miracle medicine that's called Restore Parkinson Gold," and I said, I started taking this stuff, and it really changed my life.
It took about 3 months before I slowly noticed any benefits. Eventually, I could write, walk better, actually turn over in bed. I would recommend Restore Gold to other Parkinson's patients because it is helping me. I don't think my Parkinson's has progressed since taking Restore Gold along with my regular meds, which haven't had to be increased either. Restore Gold has contributed to my quality of life and daily routine by keeping my symptoms from increasing, and I'm able to do most household chores.
My ability to do tasks as like getting myself dressed, fixing my own meals, things like that has gotten a lot better since I've been taking Restore Gold.
How many months did you take Restore Gold before you began to notice benefits?
I guess probably 3 months. 3 months that I took it before I started noticing any real benefits.
And what were those benefits?
Better balance, able to ride a bicycle, even play a little tennis. Those are the main benefits. And been able to get and I learned to, I've always played guitar and sung, and I started doing that again. And that's been a real big part of my life, being able to play and sing. So I think that Restore Gold had some effect there too.
So I went ahead and ordered a 3-month supply, and it came in the mail in about 4 or 5 days. I started taking the product as prescribed. I take 5 in the morning, 5 in the middle of the day, and 6 in the evening. And I've been doing that now for about a little over 3 years. And at first I didn't get any results from it. It took a while. I took it probably about 3.5 months. I ordered my second round, 90-day supply, and it's gradually things started getting better. I could walk better. My sense of smell came back a little bit, but I still have a problem smelling certain foods. But my tremor in my right hand diminished, and my balance and my walk got a lot better. Prior to taking the Restore Gold, I had problems walking, and I couldn't. My handwriting was terrible, and now I can write again, and I can use the computer mouse a lot better when I'm doing work on the computer.
Sent in our first order, and at first of all, it's a big bottle with the big pills in it. You think, gosh, I got to take 16 of these a day, but if it helps, it helps. Let's give it a try. And at first we didn't really notice any difference, but as a few months went by, we began to notice that things, they were improving, and they weren't directly aimed at this back pain or anything like that, but after a few months we began to see improvement in gait, movement, balance. In fact, I remember the day that I walked all the way across the house, and I maintained proper gait, proper balance, proper posture without thinking about any of them. I just got up and moved across the house in proper style, and got to the other side and said, "Hey, wow, this is neat." And my wife concurred that this was the first time in quite a while that I had just walked and balanced and swing my arms and all that sort of stuff naturally. So that I put that very definitely in the plus column. We were making progress on some key stuff.
I
I was losing everything. I had lost my business. I had lost. I had lost all of it. I was losing my life, basically. I was losing my ability to walk. I thought I was going to be bound to a wheelchair very soon. But it has really helped my quality of life to the point to where I don't need a wheelchair. I have energy. And in fact, a little over a year ago, I got a new job working where I'm working now 50, some cases 60 hours a week. And I love my job, and I love putting those hours in, and I feel great, and I have way more energy than I ever used to, and I'm able to do it, and it has just affected my quality of life now to the point to where I would never go without Restore Gold again. As long as I have Parkinson's, I will never not be without Restore Gold.
This was just a fraction of those who have experienced Restore Gold. There is hope. We encourage you to see more reviews at wehaveparkinsons.com. Try Restore Gold today. Discounts and free shipping now available. See website for details. For more information, please visit us at wehaveparkinsons.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare practitioner before beginning any supplement program.